Hello, volunteers. On behalf of the Dependable Systems and Analytics Research Group, we thank you for helping us with data labeling. I will briefly explain what kind of data you label and how to use our labeling app. The videos you label will belong to one of the surgical tasks, needle passing or suturing. You can see an example of suturing here at the bottom. Since the instructions for these two tasks are very similar and both involve a needle, we've combined the instructions in this video. The information we gain with these labels will help us develop a new method for labeling and segmenting surgical gestures, the new method you're trying right now. And this is based on generalizable context changes in the surgical environment. When you begin labeling, we want you to look at the current frame and decide what the left and right grasper are in contact with and what they're holding. A grasper is in contact with an object if the object is held in the jaws of the grasper. If the grasper is touching an object, either on the outside or the inside of the jaws or any part of the grasper is the silver part here. Then it's considered in contact with the object. You might notice that when a grasper is holding an object, it is also in contact with it, and that's because they are mutually exclusive states. We want you to label holding over in contact with, and we'll stress this when we go over the examples. And the other object of interest is the needle, which has these three states. Not touching is what that implies. The needle is neither touching the rings nor the fabric. In this picture here, it might seem like the needle is still inside of the ring, but that's actually the thread. And when you're labeling, this will become apparent based on context. Touching, there's two examples of touching here. Before the needle goes inside of the fabric, it'll touch it, and there'll be some frames before it actually goes in. And sometimes it's resting right on top of the fabric. In needle passing, you're going to see the tip of the needle touching the ring before entering. The last state is in. Here's an example of needle passing. The needle is inside of the ring, and in suturing, the needle will be inside of the fabric as well. So let's go over some examples. Here's an example of suturing. When you start the application, you're going to start at frame 0 of one of the videos. And for each of the frames, we want you to know the correct state for the needle and the graspers. So the needle is inside of the fabric. Let's note that before continuing. To move forward, you can click the Go Forward button or press D on your keyboard. So let's move forward a bit until the right grasper, we can change the state. So we see that the right grasper is touching the needle now. So let's note that. It's no longer in contact with. Move forward a bit. And it seems like it's in contact with it again. Let's note that. Okay, and it grabbed it. But the grab context change probably happened the frame prior. So to go back, you can click on this button or press A on your keyboard. Going back effectively erases any gestures that you've done after that point. So you need to relabel. It's not too bad because we've only gone back one frame. And since the grasper is now holding the needle, it is no longer in contact with it. Let's note that here. And the needle is out of the fabric. The left grasper is in contact with at this point. And then it changes to hold. So once you change the state to holding, you need to select nothing here. And the right grasper is no longer holding, but it is still in contact. And we change this to no longer in contact. The graspers will reposition. And okay, so the right grasper is holding the needle now. And the left grasper lets go. The needle will soon become in contact with the fabric. Yeah, right about this point. It is now touching the fabric. And it's inside of it now. And it's trying to find the other side. See that it went through on the other side. And it seems like the right grasper is also in contact with the fabric. Left grasper is approaching the needle. And I think there was a grab right there. The right grasper lets go. It's no longer in contact with the fabric. And the left grasper is going to pull the needle out of the fabric. All right. And this will repeat 1, 2, 3 more times. Here I loaded an example of needle passing. So we're going to go through at least one of the rings. When you start the application, you'll see the first frame of the video. And what we want you to do is to select the correct state for all of the objects for each of the frames. So it doesn't seem like anything is going on right now. So let's go forward a couple of frames. To do so, you can click on the Go Forward button or click on the D key. So let's do that. We see the right grasper will soon try to grab the needle. And it looks like it's in contact with the needle now. So let's change that. And because the needle, it grabbed the needle to lift it, and it'll approach the other grasper. Okay, so we can note contact here. And it turned to grab. Okay, so this is one of the changes from contact to holding. So now that it's holding the needle, we need to switch this back to nothing because they're mutually exclusive states. And the right grasper just let go of the needle, but it's still in contact with it, and it just let go. So the right grasper will grab the needle again. Yeah, it grabbed it here. So let's click needle. And the left grasper lets go. The left grasper is now holding on to the ring. And looks like the needle is touching the ring now. And the needle just went in. Left grasper is not holding onto the ring, but just touching it. And it's not touching it anymore. It'll now reach for the needle on the other end. Okay, so we saw that it grabbed it just now. So let's change holding needle, and the right grasper lets go of the needle. And it's not grabbing the ring, but it's in contact with it. So let's note that. Not anymore. Okay, it's about to. All right. So at this point, the needle is inside of the ring, but in here it's just a thread. So let's note that. We just care about the needle, not the thread, and it'll pull through it. So this repeats 3 more times. You'll know that you're finished when you see the message we explained earlier. But if you need to stop labeling at the moment, there's no way to save your progress for this particular video. So you'll just have to either close it and the labels will be discarded, or press quit. They both have the same functionality. So we've gone over how you label your particular set of videos. Now I'll show you where to find the labeling app, as well as how to send the transcripts back once you're finished. We're going to go through the Windows instructions first, but they're very similar on Mac. You just have to go through a couple more folders. So on Windows, you'll receive a file called build.zip. Once you unzip it, go inside it and go inside this folder. You'll find the labeling application. It'll be called Gesture Segmentation Labeling Context.exe. This is a regular application. You can start it by double-clicking on it. Inside this folder, you'll also find datasets. Going inside it and inside DB, you'll find the task that we assigned to you, and this will be the only folder here. Inside it, there's the video folder containing all of the videos that we want you to label, and transcriptions, which contains the labels that you're creating as you finish each video. When you're labeling and you see this message, it won't show you more labels because it thinks you're finished. So if you see this message, please go into your transcriptions folder and check that there are as many files here as there are videos on the videos folder. You can also check into each one and see that they are not empty and they contain some information on them. On Mac, you'll receive a Mac build.zip or .tar. Unzip that, and in it, you'll find two folders. Please go into dist. So on Mac, in the dist folder is the labeling application called Labeling App. And to start labeling, you can double click on it. It is also a folder that you can go inside of by right-clicking and selecting Show Package Contents. And this is where the transcriptions and the videos are. That'll be inside Contents and inside Resources. And there's the datasets folder. Again, as on Windows, we want you to check that there are as many files on the transcriptions folder as there are on video. And we also want you to check into some of the files on the transcription to see that they're not empty and there's actually data written on them. To send the labels back, we want you to create this. We want you to zip your transcriptions folder. And you can do so by right-clicking and selecting send to zip, or you can use WinZip or WinRAR. This file you can attach to an email and you can send it to either me or Kay. We're going to look through the labels, and if everything looks well, then you're good to go. But we might ask you to relabel some of them if we encounter some mistakes. If you liked labeling, we have lots more videos to label. So please let us know and we'll send you another kit. Otherwise, we thank you for all your help.